Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
All
soon.
time, we got Mark with the Mindful Reality podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
What's going on, y'all? I'm incredibly tired. It was a very long day. I left New York I left my house at about 3 o'clock p.m. I was supposed to be settled probably about 8 p.m. Flight was delayed. I've been hearing about these flight delays. I guess I was just happy it wasn't canceled. By the time I got here, the rental car spot where I was renting the car was already closed. So I had to cancel that and get an alternative rental car spot. What else? The hotel I'm staying, they gave me a key to a room, and when I opened the room, somebody's stuff was all up in the room. So I had to lug all my stuff back downstairs and then get another key to a different room. So I'm tired. This has been a 8.5 hour journey for me to get here to Orlando, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm looking forward to going to sleep. I just finished eating. I don't usually eat this late, but I had not eaten since 3 p.m. And I thought that I was going to be eating at like 7, but life had other plans. Life be lifing. So anyways, I missed a lot of the feeds, but what I saw right before my plane took off was the entire Cam and Jared conversation. I did go on Twitter to look up everything else, and I see a lot of different things happen. I think that there's a Final Four that was made with Matt, Blue, Jared, and Cirie, which I think is just, I kind of take that with a grain of salt. I see that Felicia and Cirie, not Felicia and Cirie, Felicia and Mimi made a final two. I also take that with a grain of salt. I guess there's a Final Four with Jared, Cirie, Felicia, and Mimi. Alliances are alliancing, if that's even a word. That's probably not even a word. Alliances are alliancing. I just made that up. Fancy meeting you here, Mark. Hope you made it safe. Can't wait to hear this update. I did. It was a very long and tiring, and it didn't go as planned type of trip, but I'm here. This is going to be a quick one for real because I'm tired. So Cameron and Jared's conversation is what I really wanted to talk about. I thought it was interesting. Let me actually pull up my YouTube community page because I use that as a reference point, because I update a lot of things with my community page, and it's a good reference point for me when I start doing these lives. Okay. So immediately when Cam came into the room, yeah, alliances are alliancing. Alliances are gonna alliance, whatever. Yeah, so okay, let me get back to this. So okay, so Cam gets into this room, into the HOH room, and immediately Jared is like, Cam, my boy, you did me dirty. And Cam was like, I can say that you did the same. And I was like, ooh, this is about to get hot. I don't even have to go through the details of the conversation. This is the part that I really wanted to get at. The part that I said you probably wouldn't hear from other pages because they don't think of things like me. These were two narcissists. Or I know some people will say, okay, you don't know them. These are two people with strong narcissistic tendencies, okay? To be politically correct, these are two people with strong narcissistic tendencies having a conversation with each other. So they started talking to each other. And Jared was like, Cameron, I can't believe that you betrayed me. I can't believe that you, of all people, first of all, I'm going to start off by saying, you're still going to be my boy outside of this house. And you're the guy out of anyone in here that I would go meet up at the bar and we would chop it up, and nothing that happens in here is going to change that. But I felt so hurt that you felt a way about this Cam situation and didn't even check in with me before you just kind of banged the gavel and said, that's it. This is 100%. This is 1,000% true. And Cameron seemed to read through everything Jared was saying, because I felt like what Jared was saying would work on Blue and it might work on some others, but not Cameron, because it kind of takes one to know one. So Cameron is telling him, I felt hurt by you as well. You did the same thing to me as well, because you took what I said to you regarding Red in a different way and kind of messed up my relationship with Red. That was you. And he was like, no, you can check the tapes. And when you check the tapes, you're going to see that I've been nothing but honest with you and I've never lied to you. And I'm like, oh, here goes Jared again with the same script. The same script that he was giving to Blue, the same script that he was giving to Corey. It's his go-to. And I feel like he can't even help it. Like a true narcissist, I feel, is not even really too self-aware of what they're doing. And this is the thing. People might say, of course he knows what he's doing. He's a grown man. He's lying on purpose. I'm not saying that he doesn't know that he's lying. I'm just saying they have such a hard time telling the truth. And also, Cam and Jared are different in a way, but they're the same in a way. So Cam's proposal to Jared in this conversation, Cam was like, now you know what it feels like to lose your person. Like, I lost Red and I lost all the people that I was working with. So now that we're both kind of public enemy number 1 and 2, at this point in time, we should start working together. And then he started throwing in his daughter in there and saying that he needs the money. And he was saying, I'm willing to just forgive and forget everything. And the two of us can just, as the two people who everybody hates in the house, we could just work together. And he was like, if you are willing to not put me on the block this week, then I am willing to do everything that I can to keep you safe next week. And if I make it to jury, and you're sitting in one of those final two chairs, I can guarantee that you have that vote from me. And then he started telling some story. Jared started talking about, yo, my real life friends outside the house. This is the way that we would act. And this is the way that we would do with each other and blah, blah, blah. I remember Jared saying this exact same thing to Izzy in a different way. The way Jared said it to Izzy is, oh, I see you like my family. This is the way that I would talk to one of my brothers. And this is the way that I would treat one of my brothers. Whether intentional or unintentional, I feel like that's an emotional manipulation tactic. I've seen him use it a lot. I've seen Cam use it a lot. Jared did say one of the realest things that I have heard him say. One of the realest things that I've heard him say for him in that conversation, which was, sometimes I have a hard time separating life and game. And we can actually see that. We're actually visibly seeing that. Because I don't know what his outside life is like, but it would seem like he's in complete control of his circumstances when he's outside of this house. And inside of the house, he's frustrated that he can't control all the circumstances. You have to depend on people in the house. You have to trust people. You have to allow for people to have opinions about you. You have to allow for people to have different strategies on how to win the game, even if they're on your team, even if they're on your side. He gets so mad about that. Now, secondly, to move on a little bit from this Cam and Jared thing, the Jared and Blue relationship. So I have now kind of reviewed some of the footage from today that I missed while I was traveling. And I have noticed that even though Blue said she forgives him and she's willing to work with him and she trusts him, she has now split off and kind of, I don't know if it's official, but basically formed a final three with Matt and Jag. And also, she's been telling Matt, Jag, Corey, and America about her correspondences with Jared. Not that she gives them every detail, but she's telling them, I'm talking to Jared, I'm telling him this, I'm assuring him of that. And she's even going to them beforehand. Yes, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Shout out to the 14 of y'all that are on here, by the way, because I just hopped on about almost 12:30 Eastern and didn't expect many people to be on here, but 14 people is a lot for me hopping on randomly at this time. Not really randomly, but I wasn't planning to hop on at this time. I thought I would be here by like 8 and I would hop on at 9 or something, but didn't work out that way. But anyways, so Blue is telling them whenever she goes to talk to Jared, but she's not telling Jared when she goes and talks to them. She's telling Jared things much, much more selectively now. She was even having a conversation with Corey where she was asking Corey what is okay for her to say to Jared. So she kind of has this loose final two with Jared. She kind of has a loose final four with Matt and Cirie and Jared. But I think that she's playing both sides. She's playing both sides. Blue is playing the game now. I don't really blame her because Corey said it earlier. Blue is in a very advantageous position because if the other side wins, she's not their primary target. And if Cirie Jared's side wins, she's not their target at all. So she's kind of ideally right in the middle. She would eventually be their target, but she would not be their primary target. And when they get down to 7, anything goes. It's just a matter of who's winning the HOHs from there. But the thing about somebody with strong narcissistic traits is that when people talk to them and when people tell them things about themselves, they don't really hear it. And I felt the funniest thing about this Cam and Jared conversation is that I felt like they were talking at each other. They were mirroring each other. And they were even saying that. Jared was even saying this in the conversation. Oh, the one thing that I love about you, Cam, is that I know that you would understand me better than anyone else in the house. And Cam was like, I do understand you better than anyone in the house. And you understand me as well. And you understand my position as well. And I love you, bro. And I love you too, bro. And I'm like, yes, you understand each other because it takes one to know one. They both always think they're right. They are both always self-righteous in their position. I don't know if any of y'all have encountered a narcissist, but the way that they apologize, it follows a pattern. I'm sorry that you felt this way about what I said. I'm sorry that you got the impression from this that this is what I meant, but what I really meant that you misinterpreted was. Those apologies that make you feel like they don't think they're wrong. And this apology is actually making me more upset. But that's not happening with the two of them because two sides of the same coin and they're talking at each other, not to each other. So that's why I was so entertained by that conversation. Because by contrast, the Corey and Jared conversation, I don't consider Corey to be that type of guy like the two of them. So Corey, even mad, is very self-aware. He knows where he goes right. He knows where he goes wrong. He'll catch himself in the middle sometimes and just apologize. Like, I shouldn't have said that. That was wrong of me. These two never think they're wrong, especially Jared. I think that Cam was more acting on being really upset because I think legitimately Cam did trust Jared. And I don't think that legitimately Jared trusted Cam because we saw those conversations where he was like, I effing hate Cam. I can't wait to send him home. So for him to be saying that stuff, and he was saying that about Corey before this week, when he was like, yo, I was always good with you and I was always truthful with you. And I'm like, wasn't he saying that he hates Corey? He hates Corey. I hate Corey and I'm going to get him out of the game. But suddenly it's like, I always trusted you, bro. I've dealt with someone like that. That's the reason why I can spot those characteristics. And I'm not saying that it can't change. It's something that somebody can change if they want to, but it requires an introspective look and an examination of yourself and a willingness to be like, oh, wow, I'm doing this wrong. And this is something that I need to change. So I felt like they were just mirroring each other. You know, they were bouncing everything off of each other. They were kind of saying the same things in different ways. You just plug in different pieces to their story but it's the same script, it's the same blueprint, it's the same everything. But right after this conversation, Jared was talking to Mimi, and he said, Cam is still my primary target. Cam got to go, and I can't wait to get Cam out of here. So it seems like, I mean, he put America and Corey on the block. He said he doesn't care out of America, Cameron, or Corey which one goes, but one of them has got to go. So I think that, you know, honestly, I think the most ideal thing, crazy as this might sound for me to say, if I were Jared, I think the most ideal thing would actually be to keep the noms the same and get rid of Corey. And then if the noms are kept the same, especially if it's not him who wins the power of veto and somebody else wins the power of veto and decides not to use it, he could be like, hey, Cam, remember that deal you put on the table of if I don't let you touch the block this week, you'll do whatever I want next week and I have your vote? And you said, if I look you in the eye and tell you that, like, my word is just as good as gold, I would use that to my advantage. I feel like right now for Jared, Corey is the more dangerous person for him to have around than Cam. Yes, Cam made this big power move to get out Izzy, but the thing is, Cam still doesn't have a team around him. Corey has other people who trust him. And there's not many people left in the house, and they're all willing to work with Corey. So Cameron does not have that same luxury. Cameron has Bowie. Everyone else is like, Cameron is a shield. That's the most that you're hearing anyone say about Cameron. Even Corey was talking to America just now when I was watching the feeds, and he was saying, oh, Cameron could win competitions for us, which would essentially be the same thing that Cirie and Jared would be saying. So it might be ideal. What's going to happen in real life? For real, I don't know. But I had to hop on, and I apologize. This would have been a much longer and more detailed live because I was planning to make it that way if I had been able to do it early. But we are like 12:51. I have to get up. I don't have to get up, but I want to get up early because I have a race tomorrow and I need to get myself prepared for that, have a good breakfast and all that good stuff. I will probably hop on here before I leave. Before I leave for the day. I mean, I'm not leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving Monday, but I'll probably hop back on here. I'll have some more updates for y'all. I'll probably have more time in the morning to just sit and chill. I'm going to get my breakfast and I'm going to eat, and I'm probably going to watch whatever happened tonight because I'm not staying up to watch it. I'm exhausted. The race is it's called Deca Fit, which is 10 miles and 5 miles. 5 miles and 10 stations. All right, everybody, good night, and I will see you in the AM. Talk to you soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian.
Well,
this one.
Well, thank you.